in last get together, the message was गुर के शब्द हृदय दिखाया, माया मोह शब्द जलाया, सच्चो सच्चा वेख सालाही, गुर शब्दी सच पावनि-aa. When you are on the path from the heart, not from the brain, not from the mind, not from the intellect, not by understanding, not by thought, but by feeling. The word is Gur ke shabad hriday dikhaya. Hriday means the heart. Dikhaya means the literally experienced from within. When that thought, when that word rises from within, at that intersection of time and space, at that moment, a miracle happens. And what is that miracle? Maya moho shabad jalaya. Maya means the illusion. Moho means the attachments. Shabad means the word. Jalaya literally means to burn it up, as the karmic thread gets burnt up. It finished. The people who believe in the theory of karma will have a very difficult time with this. How can you burn the karmic thread? You must pay the consequences of your choices. They will stand firm on that. But they forget that if that is the eternal law, that every action must have a reaction, then you can never get out of the cycle. Think about it. If every action must be followed by a reaction, and every reaction will give rise to another reaction, a chain of events will start. How will you break the chain? We were given the message that there is only one possible exception to that law of karma. One exception. So long as you are trapped in the three dimensions and all your choices and behavior are based on the three dimensions, which is physical, emotional, and intellectual. If your choices are being made in one of those three dimensions, the law of karma you cannot get rid of. But if you start making the choices based on the laws of spiritual dimension, the law of karma automatically drops. For example, eye for an eye is a law which belongs to one of these three dimensions here. And what did the Jesus say? Forget about what I am talking about. I am taking you back 2000 years and say, what did the Jesus say? He said, when somebody slaps you, turn the other cheek. Didn't he not? Why did he say that? Doesn't he understand the law of karma? It's in the same Bible. Eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. It's in the same scripture. But what is the master really saying? He's saying these choices are in one of the three dimensions. But if you want to ever see the house of my Father, then you better follow the law. When somebody slaps you on this cheek, turn this one. The whole of the law of karma drops. Would it not? Just take this example. Go to church on Sunday and talk to your priest and ask, why did Jesus advise the entire humanity? If an eye for an eye and tooth for tooth is to be followed, what was the purpose of his statement? Because if you are turning the other cheek, what would be the reaction from the other side? Think about it. If you react according to eye for an eye, what will happen? Gandhi said, eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. In his book, Experiments with Truth, Gandhi writes, he says, I have no problem in following the law of eye for an eye, but I'm afraid I take one eye, you take my one eye, then I take your other eye, and you take my other eye, and we are both blind. Theory of action and reaction would not allow you to evolve spiritually. It will give you a very profound satisfaction. I avenged it. I took my revenge. And we keep on forgetting the basic principle of human life. This body was not given to live in the dimension of physicality. It has its purpose. You need the body to experience the spirituality. You need the body to be able to live like a spiritual being. Since you need the body, you need to sustain it. You need to keep it healthy. But that's about it. Your objective is not to keep the body healthy. Your objective is actually beyond. Once I am healthy, what am I going to do with it? I am going to practice living like a spiritual being. Tough job. We keep falling back again and again into the same thing. Why? Because the whole of the thing is coming from the intellect, the mind, the argument, the reasoning. And the reasoning is based upon the information that you have collected. Mark Twain was very, very crude with this type of thinking. In one of his essays, Mark Twain says, logic is a whore. It serves the master who pays the best. Look at how crude the statement is, but how true it is. Logic serves the master who pays him the best. So long as you keep living through the logic, you will not evolve spiritually. You will be locked into the cycle of action, reaction, ad nauseum. Till you get tired and say, I had it enough. So what's your out? Guru ka shabad hriday dikhaya. No, get back to the voice of your heart. And shut down the voices from here. And the day you are able to do that, maya moho shabd jalaya, the thread of attachments will burn. You cannot keep them. It is impossible. They will not coexist. That's not their nature. The moment the thread of attachments disappears, sacho, sacha, vich, saalaahee, gur shabdeen, sach paavni-aa. Then the real truth starts rising up. It starts becoming clearer. You don't deny any relationship, but you see the reality of the relationships. You start really understanding this is just attachment. No, but I love you. I don't care what you say, I have experienced it. I have actually experienced the feeling of love. And the moment you ask the same person, where is that love now? Well, she did so and so, he did that and that. Now we are not in love with anymore. Tell me, what's the difference between a business transaction and that kind of love? Now the truth is becoming clear. I was hiding behind the word love. Actually, it was a business transaction. So long as it was profitable to me, I said, I'm feeling loved. No, you weren't. Because if it was love, it will still be the love. You don't believe me? Ask him. He is showing us what the love is. Does he change? Because we have changed. Does he stop? Because we have stopped. Does he say, I will not allow you to live on this planet any longer because you are cursing me? You are not giving me the praise anymore. You are not remembering me anymore. You have forgotten me, hence I also withdraw my sport back from you. That's love. He doesn't. The truth starts rising up. You start seeing the relationships in their true light. Yes, you are a wife. You are playing a role. Yes, I am a husband. I am playing a role. And in that role, if we can make each other's life little easier, so be it. But I am not going to be pulled into the same emotional drama again. You don't love me anymore. No more. I see the true light now. Why? Maya moho shabad jalaya. The illusionary attachment is burnt. And that brought out sacho, sacha, vich. Vich means to literally see it. To what? Sach, the truth. You really see that truth. You don't hide behind flowery language anymore. You don't hide behind poetic expressions any longer. You see, you call what it is. What is it? I'm a father, you are a son. You have a role to play, I have a role to play. What's the truth? You are a son, I'm a mother. You have a role to play, I have a role to play. Do you mean to tell me I am not really your son? Not in the sense that you understand. Not in the sense that we have been trained to think about. Because the real mother is sitting somewhere else. Real father is sitting somewhere else. The real friend is sitting somewhere else. The real husband is sitting somewhere else. These are just the rules. So now I see the truth. Sacho, sacha, vich, saalaahee. Now you appreciate it. Salana means appreciate. You really recognize what? The truth. You start appreciating the truth now. Then what else? Gur shabdi sach paavni-aa. Now that truth becomes yours. Now you stop saying, I am saying it because I read it by so and so. I am saying it because I heard from so and so. No, now you say, I am saying it because I experienced it. I believe it. I am saying it on my authority, not anybody else, because I know it. I have experienced it. I have seen the truth. I don't need to give you any more reference. I don't need to publish any bibliography. It is coming from my inside. I am my own authority. It's a very common question that I face. Where did you read it? How do you know it? On what authority you are making these statements? My response always is, I am not going to quote anybody else except the truth. That's the scripture. That's it. It's not written anywhere else. I haven't heard anywhere. I haven't read anywhere. I haven't discussed with anybody. You may be surprised to know that I am reading these words and lines for the first time as you are hearing. There is no notes in front of me. I have not prepared anything. I am not reading from a written document. But I can say with the same conviction because that is my experience. You see that truth? Sacho, sacha, vich, saalaahee, gur shabdi, sach paavni-aa. That word becomes yours. It's not borrowed any longer. जो सच राते तेन सच्ची लिव लागी. It automatically leads to that. To what? Jo sach raate. Those who have now understood, internalized the truth. Raatay. There are two stages. One stage is represented by the word range. Range literally means to color something. There are types of colors which you put in the water and they run out. But then there are types of colors. No matter how hard you try to get rid of that shade, it remains. It doesn't fade, it doesn't go away. When that type of coloring is there, the word for that in our language is raatay. Not range. Range is just coloring. Raatay is now so deep that nothing is going to make that shade go lighter. Nothing is going to affect it. Jo sach raatay, those who are now at that state of existence, those who are seeing the truth, acknowledging the truth, and making it as their own truth, they will not be shaken by any event. Then sachee level laagee. Level means to be permanently in that state. Not to be shaken, not to be questioned. And then, har naam samaaleh se vadbhaagee. Very few, rare, lucky ones. They are really blessed. Vadbhaagee means they are really blessed. They have been graced by you. The word chosen was meant for that. You are the chosen one. A race is never chosen. A group of people are never chosen. That's a misinterpretation and misapplication of the word chosen. Jesus was the chosen one. Moses was the chosen one. But the entire Jewish race wasn't the chosen one. Cannot be the chosen one. Those are the rare ones. Few. Har naam samaaleh se vadbhaagee. They are the chosen ones. सच्चे शब्द आप मिलाए सत्संगत सच गुण गावनि-aa. Because how do you know they are the chosen ones? So here is the test for those. Whenever you are in their company, whenever you meet them, whenever you talk with them, they sing only one song. His song. The truth. That's it. Otherwise, they would rather be quiet. You can probe. You can ask questions. They will not be dragged into that. They will not take the hard game and turn into a head game. Don't just walk away. It's okay. Enjoy your head game. It's your destiny. It's your journey. If you are not going to come along with me to the heartland, I am not joining you in your intellect land. No harm, no foul. No judgment here. These are two separate dimensions. That's it. No good, bad, evil, devil, etc. Forget these labels. None of that. It's just different dimension. That dimension has a action and a reaction. I would rather live in the dimension where there is no action and reaction. It's my choice. The land of action and reaction may be more enjoyable. And usually it is. A very common occurrence. Look, these people who are not at all living in the spiritual dimension, look how much they are enjoying. How happy they are with their physical life. You can see that. You can also see those who choose to live in the spiritual dimension, how much suffering they are going through. And while sitting in that dimension, you can call them every name written in the book. And the people do. What an idiot. Why sit and suffer? Suffering could not be your destiny. Well, how do you know that? It just doesn't feel good to suffer. Of course it doesn't feel. But you are forgetting it. It is through that suffering your heart is opening. You are forgetting. So long as you are playing like a kid in the three dimensions, heart is shut down. It just goes from one enjoyment to another enjoyment to another joy. Otherwise, watch a little child playing. Take a little child to a toy store and ask the child to pick up one toy that he or she likes the best. Can you imagine what will happen? Forget the child. Tomorrow is going to be a 50% off sale in Macy's. And you have a credit card with no upper limit. Take yourself in that store and let me see how soon you can get out of it. And how many things you can pick. And how many things you can deny. Your inner child will wake up. And it will be running from one department to another and another rack to another. You will forget your lunch. As a matter of fact, you might prepare in advance and take the lunch with you. Because coming home is wasting time. My child is playing. I'm not going to shut him up. Those are the laws of three dimensions. You didn't make it, I didn't make it, it's nobody's fault. That's the way it is. See the game. See the truth. The moment you see the truth, you wake up. The evolutionary process starts. You cannot stop it. Once the evolutionary process starts, you cannot stop it. That's the nature of the beast. What will happen? Sachee sabad agam milaa-ay satsangat sach gaavani-aa. Then there is only one song to sing for you, which is sachee gun. The truth. Why wouldn't you change the song? Let's say it is about the truth. Why sing one song? We have a saying, variety is the spice of life. Go ahead, sing about it, but sing differently a little bit, don't you? Where is this argument coming from? See how quickly it became the head game? The answer comes. Laykhaa parhee-ai je laykhay vich hovai. There is no problem in singing different song, but how many different? Do you know how many there are? If the Creator is infinite, aren't His songs also infinite? Laykhay means to count. Laykhaa parhee-ai. See, you can count if it is possible to count. So why would you vary when you are never going to find the limit? Why bother? Why get started on that path at all when there is no limit? Laykhaa parhee-ai je laykhay vich hovai. If it is bound by any dimensions, only then you should try exploring various things and get to the end of it. But you have been told, you have known, you have experienced that there is no counting. There is no limit to this. It is accepted fact. Oh, agam agochar sabad suDh. Agam. O means he. Agam means something that cannot be measured. Agochar means something that cannot be even intellectually thought through. What is the solution to this then? Sabad suDh. State the word. Let that word, say one word, go into your heart. Let it become the key that opens the lock. Let it open up. Andin sach shabd saalaahee hor koy na keemat paavni-aa. Andin, day and night, forever. Sach shabd saalaahee. Stay with the ultimate single truth. Because you are not going to find its end, its beginning, its middle. You don't believe it? Go through the history of consciousness. All documented history of more than 10,000 years around the globe, not just in one part of the world. Here is what the ultimate conclusion comes out. Parh thaakay saaNt. People did go on that journey. They did want to find out. Just as, what did the man do? He tried both directions. He made a telescope so that he can look farther and farther and farther. And he made a microscope that he can go inner and inner and inner, deeper and deeper and deeper. Those of you who keep with the scientific development, they already know that the largest possible size of a telescope is currently under construction in the desert of Chile. That telescope's mirror alone will be bigger than the size of Hubble. The total size of the Hubble, not just its mirror. The total size of the Hubble, single mirror will be larger than that. And their capability to see deeper and more clearer will multiply by 58 times. That's their current project. 5 nations are putting the money in because single country would not be able to fund a project, scientific project like that. And on the other hand, they have already reached the limit of the microscope because they already can see with the Hadron Collider. That's a 27 miles radius tunnel running through 2 countries. By smashing the atoms, they have already gone to the lowest possible denomination they could. They have reached their limit on the lower side. They still cannot find it. You'll be surprised when you ask the scientists what you are looking for, they call it, we are looking for God particle. Type the word God particle in Google and look at all the research they are doing, finding God particle. Scientific name for this is boson, B-O-S-O-N. So what's happening? 500 years ago, these words were written, parh, thaakay, saaNt, milaa-ay. All kind of research. Parh literally means to read, to study. The peace has not been achieved. SaaNt literally means to reach peace. To be at peace with knowing something. So who's running around? The one who's looking beyond the galaxy is running around. The one who's looking inside the matter is running around. And here is a simple-minded who never went to a school or a college and a university, and is sitting at peace and alone, having the time of his life and smiling at the little children running around in a store of toys. Just as a parent can stand and chat with the cashier register, at the cashier register with the sales girl, the child can run around in the aisles trying to make up the mind, this is the toy I want, and he will never reach that conclusion. You can spend the entire day in the store, whether picking up a blouse and a dress for you, or a child picking for a toy, or picking for your best jewelry from the jewelry store, it does not matter. End result is the same. The only one who is at peace, who says, you can't find it. There is no perfect ornament for you. There is no perfect toy for you that will make you happy forever. So what do? We change the game. We bring down to the toys which are alive and talking. I picked up this toy so many years ago. I don't like this toy. Now I want to buy a new one. I am bored with this toy. What is that called? Divorce. This toy doesn't satisfy me anymore. I need a new toy. And then you go get another toy. The game starts all over again. Become adult. Grow up. Show your inner child. There is no limit to this. There is no end to this. Living in the outer 3 dimensions will always have a cause and effect relationship. You can't get away from it. You cannot. It is a race that you are going to lose. So what should you do? Listen to these. Parh thaakay, saadh tarisnaa jale suDh nakai. Tarisnaa, the desire, the hankering, the running after, chasing after. You have to stop the chase. See the game. You don't need to go anywhere. It's right inside you. That secret is right in every heart. You just need to acknowledge. Because if you don't acknowledge, this is the end result. vadbhaagee, vich moho pi-aasay, kood bol, vich paavni-aa. Vich literally means poison. A very slow poison. A poison that may take 100 years to kill you, but it will kill you. And in the process you might find actually poison is sweet. It's not bitter. And you will keeping it swallowing it more and more and more. The only way you can get away from the influence of this poison is see the truth. Drop that veil. Let the inner child grow up and become an adult. You can read the bumper sticker. Which says, I am not a dirty old man driving a dirty old car. I am a little child enjoying my childhood all over again. We are so proud to display, I may be 50 years old, but I refuse to grow up. We feel proud in declaring to the world, I am still a child at heart. If not child, if that sounds condescending, I am still young at heart. You don't believe me? Let somebody call you a grandmother and see how it feels inside. A grandfather, and see how it feels inside. Do you feel pride in the fact that you have earned this title of a grandmother or a grandfather? Or do you feel insulted? How dare you? I'm not old. Why am I ashamed of being old? The child is refusing to grow up. When the child refuses to grow up, it is digesting that slow poison and is spending the rest of the life in that sweet poison. vadbhaagee. Vadbhaagee literally means to do business. Business of poison. Vich moho pi-aasay. Attachment with the poison. And what does that then end result in? Kood bol, vich khaavani-aa. Kood literally means to tell a lie. Vich khaavani-aa means keep on swallowing the poison by using some beautiful words, nice language, poetic expressions. Just because it sounds exciting and right to the intellect doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean you have seen the truth. Yesterday somebody wrote on my Facebook wall, God says, just remember me and I'll give you everything. And I wrote back. I said, what if I don't remember? Would he stop giving me? Does God really want you to remember him? Does he have such a desire? What kind of a lie this is? But it sounds very exciting to the intellect. God doesn't want anything from me. God has no desire. And God will keep on giving whether you remember him or not. It's not going to change. Just because something appeals to the intellect doesn't mean it's right. Find the essence. See the truth. What will happen when you see the truth? What did Jesus say about that? Truth shall set you free. Isn't it? Free from what? Are you in jail? Yes, you are. And he's trying to get you out of the jail, but we are in love with our jail. We have decorated ourselves and made it so comfortable. Then when a master like Jesus appears on the horizon and says, truth shall set you free, we say, kill this guy. He's trying to get me out of my home. This jail is so comfortable, so beautiful, so enjoyable, and he wants to set me free. Humanity did exactly that. They did not free themselves. They killed the messenger. We do to ourselves every day the same thing. Don't wake me up. I want to stay within my own jail because it is very comfortable. And what you are telling me, the moment I step out of this jail, I am not going to like it. Hence, we create flowery languages, flowery messages, metaphors, word pictures. And in that, we keep on swallowing the poison. How do we get out of this game? Gur prasadi ek ho jana. The word is jana, means to really experience, not to know it. Do not try to know about God, know God. Do not try to understand God, be God. You are God. Now start living like Him. Now start behaving like Him. Now start being like Him. Don't discuss it. Don't analyze it. Don't argue about it. Don't try to prove your point to anybody. It is not worth it. Just know. Just experience. Seek that grace. Gur prasadi. Prasad literally means grace. Seek that grace to do what? Eko jana. Experience the one. Know one. Be one. But in order to do that, there is a prerequisite. What is the prerequisite? Duja mar man sach samana. Duja. Do. Two. The other. If one is to be known, then the other has to disappear. Then the other has to be ignored. Then the other has to be transcended. It's not saying run away from the other. Because the moment you run away from the other, you would not know the first, because there is no point of reference. See the beauty of the game? You need the other to know the first. You need the outer to understand and recognize the inner. So don't run away. Don't try to escape. Just stay wherever you are. As a matter of fact, if it is so miserable, better. It is a good playing ground for you. Now you can work on your patience, on your tolerance, on your understanding, on your power of sacrificing, on your power of forgiveness. Because that school has just provided you. Now you may say, wait a minute, you are becoming a sadist. What's the term, sadist or masochist? I don't know. Sometimes interchange these things. Masochist or sadist, whatever. You know what I'm saying. You start immediately labeling it. That's enjoying your self-punishment. That's sickness. It's self-flagellation. I refuse to be a victim of self-flagellation. Yes, you should refuse to be victim. But you don't use that argument to be an escapist. Don't escape. Learn your lesson. He promises you the day you have learned that lesson, the outer environment will automatically change. It will drop by itself. You don't need to do anything. If that environment is persisting to stay with you, then he knows that you haven't learned the lesson yet. You may say, I have, but that's an escape from learning the lesson. Gur prasadi eko jana, duja mar man sach samana. The moment you transcend the other, sach samana. Samana means merge, become one. You will become part of the one. Duality will cease to exist. Isn't it by definition? The other is transcendent. What's left? The one. They are. It is not. Has ever anybody said, turn on the light and then slowly the darkness will disappear? Has ever anybody seen this? Isn't the coming on the light also going out the darkness? Isn't it simultaneously? Aren't these two events joined together? When the other is transcended, the one is automatically actualized by definition. Duja maar, man sach samana. The moment the other disappears, the truth appears. It's simultaneous. It's together. But we don't see it. We only celebrate the birth of a child. Isn't the mother born at the same time? Does anybody celebrate the birth of the mother at that time? Show me one example in your society. When you are celebrating the child's birthday, you are also celebrating a mother birth, a mother's day. That is the mother's day. Before that, she wasn't the mother, she was just a woman. The moment the child is born, so is the mother. That's a simultaneous event. But we would not acknowledge both. We will only acknowledge one. And therein lies the problem. Duja maar man sach samana, naanak eko naam varte mane antar gur prasadi paavni-aa. In your heart, other does not exist. Only one exists. In your mind, there are many of them. The noise is only here. The peace is here. It is your choice. Where you want to go, where you want to live, how you want to evolve. Nobody is going to force you into this. You have to make a conscientious choice. Take the first step so that the journey can start. That's a hymn number 18 on page 119, 120. We'll take a pause here. And if there are any questions or comments, lines are still open.